a crop circle that may look at the date September 6th as something, some event, some catastrophic event. I don't know, an alignment of the planets, a crop circle covered up by a government. All of that is what we're about to talk to. Welcome to the program, Marshall.
Welcome.
Good to have you. All right. I mean, that is kind of where we're going here, isn't it? A crop circle covered up by a government. Is that correct?
Well, right now what's happening over in England and over here is rather amazing. The best thing for me to do is just give you a brief chronology of what I call contact denied. Contact denied.
Lay it out.
Okay. Starts off in the 3rd of July. I published an article on extraterrestrials at odds with crop circle messages. I was talking about the Crabwood 2002 formation.
Are they at odds with formations? What do you mean?
Well, it was just the title of it, but it was this is the one where the alien holding the disc.
Yes.
And in there they're saying, beware of, basically the people come with flour and sugar, and they're telling you the wrong things. You got to believe that there are good people out there as well. And so there was a message in there, and it was a warning. And
they weren't referring to our government, were they?
Well, it's hard to say who they were referring to.
Okay.
It just was a general warning.
Okay.
And then what happened is that on the 16th of July, a fellow by the name of Maurice Osborne, he had done a crop circle video, which I had based that article on. And I was helping him to get it out on the Internet. And his home was broken into. They didn't touch anything except they went to his personal area of his home where he had the master copy of his video, Alien Messages, and it was destroyed.
Destroyed? Destroyed and left, or destroyed and taken, disappeared, or what?
Destroyed and left. The way he described it was they pulled the tape out and tore it up into knots.
Huh.
Then, after this happens, Paul Vigay reports, this is the 18th of July, that there are conspiracies and threats against crop circle researchers in England.
Verified?
Verified. Now, he's got that verified. I just received an email today from him. He's got solid proof on that. He's going to be bringing out an article very shortly. And
what were the nature of the threats?
The threats, as I understand them, is basically general harassment, especially against the crop circle researchers that are using the ultralights. So they're threatening to basically deny them access to the air and other things. So there's a lot of it. Right now there's a lot of noise and a lot of bad stuff happening over there. It's not one big happy family.
I understand that the crop circles in England suddenly stopped, yes?
Absolutely. And this was something that I was waiting for a continuation of the 2002 Crabwood formation. And on August 9th...
The Crabwood formation having sent what message, do you feel?
I think that the Crabwood formation had a spiritual message. It had a single word sentence in all upper caps, believe. I think it was telling us that they're trying to tell us in this message that some difficult times are ahead, that we've got some friends out there, but that there are also some other people who are not trustworthy, and what they're doing is, they're offering false promises. Be careful of those people. And then also the message says, conduit closing ends with a comma, which implies a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
And so this had happened in the middle of August of last year, and it represented a sequence of events over a 3-year period of time, which I detail in the article, where you have elements of communication building one upon the other.
So like Paul Harvey, you were waiting for the rest of this story.
That's right. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And what happened was that I published an article on the 9th of August, and this one was called Recurring Crop Circle Pictograms Could Be a Key to a Dialogue. And there was a simple glyph that kept reappearing. It appeared 4 times. 4 complete circles connected with lines. Now, the first 3 times it appeared on its own. However, the 4th time it appeared, it was the first element of an extremely complex message. And so to me, it started clicking in my head, this is a key to something. if you're familiar with the Internet, and that's the lingua digital of our species, and we use the Ethernet. And Ethernet has packets of information. Every packet has a header.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not to get into the gobbledygook, but every header says, here's the addressee, and here's the sender.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And this is the simple part of the packet. The other part of the packet, the much larger part, is the complex part that contains the message.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm seeing is like
you think we just got the header?
Yes, I'm seeing the header.
Okay.
Except the fourth time the header shows up, it's in the June 31st Overton formation. There's a huge message. And this formation is so large it takes 2 days to form. And again, it's just that simple header that streams the whole thing. And at that time, I just didn't know what to make sense of it. I could see it was some sort of protocol device, some sort of addressing device, but I figured, well, we'll see what happens in the continuation of the Crabwood formation.
Of course, yeah.
Well, that didn't happen. And from the August 10th on, the crop circle season in England came to a screeching halt.
That in itself is unprecedented, just to suddenly stop like that. Well, what do you imagine? Do you imagine crop circles have been prevented from being laid down? Do you think that there has been some sort of contact between one of our governments and those laying down the crop circles? What are you imagining happened?
Well, what I'm imagining happened was that there was a sequence building.
Okay.
And if you listen to what Linda at earthfiles.com has to say, and Paul Vigay, because now there's at least 4 documented incidences.
Okay, I know Linda was
helicopter.
Chased by a helicopter, right?
That's right. But also during this time, on the 26th of August, Swirled News comes out with date predicted in a crop formation.
September 6th.
26th of August, excuse me.
Oh, 26th of August. Okay, I thought it was something's pointing to September 6th, though, right?
Right. Now, this is a formation that appeared back in 1995, the Tichborne formation.
Mm-hmm.
And it has basically just a chart of our inner solar system. And when you align it, it comes up perfectly with Mars basically being the time measure on the outer ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, we sat down and we checked it out ourselves. We vetted his work. And he's on the money with the times. And what he's showing on the 6th of September is that there is going to be an object that will be between the orbits of Venus and Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be on the other side of the sun. And that's what's showing in the formation. Now, what happened on the 28th of August was that we noticed an unidentified winged object in the Soho Lascaux 3 image. Now, the fact that it's winged is important with Soho because that means it's too bright to be a star, something in the background. So it's going to be a large object.
How clear is the photograph?
It's on the site, absolutely clear. It's unmistakable. And I have it circled so the viewers can see it. And what happened the following day is that what was curious to us is that Soho imagery the next day, there appears to be an editing. And the editing appears to be blocking that object that had appeared the previous day.
So the winged object now is suddenly gone.
That's right.
Fortunately, you preserved the image and have it.
That's right. And it's up on the site. Then on the 29th of August...
Where would this object have been? I mean, Soho's one of our satellites. Where would it have been?
This object it appears that we're in the vicinity of Venus. It's where this crop circle formation is generally predicting it's going to appear.
All right. I'm going to just take a giant leap here. I mean, I'm trying to put all this together in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Here come crop circles. Here come what appear to be messages, headers, the beginning of a message, the promise of some words, a comma, you're waiting for the next shoe to drop. It doesn't. It disappears. Various hints that would point toward what these messages were trying to say appear on satellites and then suddenly disappear. I mean, is this all headed down toward somebody else figured the message out and didn't want the last part of it to get here and so ensured that it didn't? Is that where we're going here?
Yes.
Who do you think figured it out?
Whoever can afford to fly an Apache attack helicopter.
Well, let's see. Who would that be? Hey, listen, I want to ask you something. How does a CNN science features news producer get from CNN totally mainstream, albeit interesting science news, to what you're talking about right now?
Well, I'd gotten a DSL connection back in '99 and was just giving it a test spin and decided to go for sites that would be colorful and not well designed. And so I was looking for prophecy sites, came across Millennium Group, and they were talking about Comet Lee at the time. And this was, as you recall, the King of Terror.
Sure.
And that was the whole thing. Everyone was over in Turkey with the solar eclipse. And I was going through the NASA video feed and saw three objects. And the way I saw them was pretty much the way I'd see them as a producer in TV. They appeared in what I saw is in the overscan area. And when you're looking through a camera, of course, you have the line inside that says here, inside this line is what you're going to see on the TV at home.
Sure.
The overscan is outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
And a professional shooter, when they see something in the overscan and it really catches their attention, they go to it like a bird dog. And so what happened was the shooter saw something in the overscan and went to it. And that's what caught my attention. So then I did a frame-by-frame analysis, and I found three objects which I labeled A, B, and C.
Uh-huh.
Now, with the help of imagery from the Mir space station that was taken by a French astronaut, we were able to eliminate two of those objects, one being a rocket booster and the other one being a low Earth satellite, probably a cell site.
Okay.
However, the third one, object B, was in fact a comet. It was something that there was no other way to explain it. It had all the characteristics of a comet, where it had the coma around the head, the horseshoe-shaped coma, and there was nothing in the star charts that matched up with it. So at that point, there was something that did appear during that solar eclipse. And from there, it just was, I got hooked and started liking this type of science and stayed with it.
And so here you are. If you were to take a guess at the message that would have been, or could have been, or might have been, what do you think was coming? Any clue? Any guess?
I have no idea. I believe it would have been a benign message. It would have been one where the intention was good towards us.
Well,
because
why go to a lot of trouble, no matter who you are, to erase a benign message?
Well, it's something where this particular message, what was curious about it, is that the circumstances of everything happening at the same time.
I mean, you say here, in the final analysis, I believe, that we've been denied another important crop circle message, as the early season trends in England were showing a build-up to something significant. So here you think it's going to be significant, not benign. Or I guess it could be benign and significant, huh?
Well, it was, and I think that the August 9th article that I did with the crop circle key was probably a triggering event in this whole sequence. And the reason why was that I just put it up on the site a day and a half ago, and we are declaring it a contact event. That reoccurring glyph that I had told you about earlier, it caught the attention of a fellow by the name of Matt Rock, who is a Canadian crop circle researcher. Mm-hmm. And he started analyzing it. And he found that that recurring glyph that appeared 4 times, and on the 4th time was the header of a large message, was actually a formation of stars in the constellation Pisces. And we have published that on the site. So the August 9th interpretation that I put up, while I didn't know it at the time, basically I had found that part of the header message that said, this is where the signal is going to be coming from, or where the formation, whoever the sender of the message is.
So then you think the message is coming from?
Constellation Pisces.
The constellation Pisces. The constellation Pisces. Marshall, I always ask everybody when I talk to them about crop circles this question. It's one of the biggest mysteries, without a question, that the world has, really unsolved. What do you think crop circles? You think they're messages, but toward what end? Are we being warned? Are we? Why toy with us in this manner? If you're going to say something, why not just lay it out and say it? Why these sort of subtle things you have to wonder about?
Well,
I don't really expect an actual answer to the question. I just ask everybody, why?
Well, yeah, that's the great question. And let's look at the circumstances of contact denied here. In other words, we have crop circles. Now, up to this point, up to this season, this has been something that's kind of an oddity. People think about it or they don't think about it. They don't think about it seriously.
Right.
But crop circles and ufology have been gaining momentum. And this time, there's a lot of documented research. There's a lot of people out there researching these things, and the phenomena is real. When you start getting into crop circle technology and you start looking at blown nodes and expanded nodes and how the
I know.
Woven.
I'm ever so well aware, as I think most of our audience is, of the technical work that's been done and the fact that, a couple of guys with boards and chains haven't done this. It really is a genuine phenomena, whether it's of and from this earth or of and by someone beyond it. It's a genuine phenomena. It's not just guys with boards and chains. It's a serious mystery, and there probably is a message there. The important thing we need to know is whether it's a warning or... I once had someone say they're markers for time travelers. I mean, they could be a million different things, and we never quite nail it down.
Well, it's whatever you want. People read
Whatever
a lot
you want
into
it.
I look at these things from a standpoint of, a WYSIWYG kind of outlook. What you see is what you get. I'm not interested in trying to relate this to some old mythology. I'm saying, look, if you're going to send a message across a galaxy,
yes,
you're going to be talking in things that people can grasp. You're going to be talking in scientific terms. You're going to be conveying logical thoughts. We're not going to be getting into mysticism.
But if somebody sends me a message and the only message is believe, oh my, what am I to believe? For the last several years, I've been absolutely convinced that our weather is undergoing a profound change. I don't wonder about it anymore. I know it is. And obviously, Marshall, you had some reason to believe that the weather or the changes in it or what's going on right now may have been some part of the message. Is that correct?
Well, it could be. When we left out the last time, you mentioned the word believe.
Mm-hmm.
I want to come right back to that.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now, right now on the internet, the big translation of that 2002 Crabwood formation was, beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises, much pain but still time, damaged word, there is good out there, we oppose deception, conduit closing, bell sound. However, when we did a detailed analysis, and that was Maurice Osborne did that with his video, stepped it through it, and he had the binary code based on the Arecibo message.
Yes.
Originally been sent by Carl Sagan. Now, in that original Earth Files translation where it said damaged word, was the word believe. Where it was bell sound, it was a comma. Disinformation always starts with truth, and then you just change it enough to send people down a rabbit hole.
Well, sure, otherwise people don't believe.
That's right. And in this case, what we have is much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. So the key to this message is that they're trying to tell us that, in a sense, have faith. There's good out there. You're not alone. You never have been alone. You never will be alone.
You know, the only part of that has ever bothered me is it implies that someone's going to come save our ass from something terrible. And I don't know if I want or wish to believe that, because if something catastrophic does occur, I think that if we're relying or hoping that somebody will come swooping down out of the sky to save our butts, then we're liable to sit on our butts. And I've always been concerned about that.
Well, I think it's the same here. If they're going to help, then, if you're going to help us to help ourselves. We have to be autonomous. We've got to take care of our own shop. I think that is the thing that really frightens government the most when they look at this whole phenomena. If you have an extraterrestrial race making contact or going through problems, people are going to say, hey, these guys got better technology. Mm-hmm. We'll listen to them. We stop listening to our government. We stop listening to our government.
Yes.
Chaos.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You say growing public awareness and acceptance of UFO and crop circle phenomena are a threat to governments at large. The likely concern may have been that a contact event would be socially destabilizing and lead to global panic and strife as citizens place greater credibility in the extraterrestrial messages than those of their own governments.
Yes. And then you are also going to have the people who just do not handle the news all that well.
Lots of those.
They're going to project their worst fears into it, and they will become dangerous, and they will become destabilizing. Mm-hmm. Look what a handful of guys did on, September 11th. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take many, people to go off, do something totally insane, and look at the people that they're going to hurt as nothing more than statistics to prove their point. And so I think governments have, in this case, it's a double-barreled shotgun that they're looking down, that they're looking at. On one hand, they lose credibility because people start listening elsewhere for, messages. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, they're going to have people that are not going to deal very well with it. So the chaos and the panic thing is something that rightfully concerns them. Yeah.
There have been studies, as I'm sure you are well aware, with regard to first contact or how people would react to contact. Brookings did that, and it didn't come out well. I mean, it did suggest that people would not handle it well, or enough of them would not handle it well, that there would be resulting panic and raping, pillaging, whatever. So you think that? I've asked a lot of people about this. Do you think that is still in place, that psychology?
Well, it's something where you rip the blinders off of people.
The governments still believe that it would move them to erase or prevent a message from being laid down that would begin that process they're so afraid of.
Well, let me relate to the kind of mail that I'm getting, all right, because this has been generating a ton of email that's come to me. And it's been surprising. Yes, I get the occasional, I'm channeling Lord Zuba from the outer reticular or whatever, and I get a few of those. Uh-huh. I get the ones, I don't ever want to talk to you again. I get the ones that go absolutely crazy, the ones that quote me Bible, and so forth. And I just look at it, they're all just denial and negative messages. But for every one of those I get, I'm getting 11 really great positive messages. And they range from attaboys to very well-crafted intellectual messages. I'm getting people from all over the world, from Geneva, Australia, England. Mm-hmm. These are articulate, intelligent, educated people who have been looking at this and thinking about it, and now they're coming forward and they want to talk about it. And so is there going to be this huge mass panic when we make contact? No, I don't think it's going to be another War of the Worlds kind of situation. I think we're a more sophisticated population.
Maybe.
I think that for a lot of people there's going to be some confusion. They'll be numb about it. But if I look at the small percentages of people that I'm getting these really terrible reactions, to the articles that I'm publishing, and if I were, quote-unquote, a government, I would be looking at those with concern because I could see those people as becoming problemsome. not being able to come to grips with this whole new change in their life, seeing their belief systems taken apart. I think in the mainstream, there are a lot of us that'll, will be a little numb, we'll wander through it, but I think that we are far more sophisticated now than we give ourselves credit for. But there still remains a small percentage of the population that is very worrisome.
There are, of those who write of UFOs and extraterrestrials and the things that we don't fully understand now, about 90% write positively. I mean, that they're optimistic. They think this will all be a good thing. And then there are a few who aren't as sure, and to them, this might be a bad thing. It might be evil. It might be that whoever they are, they will have negative, what's the right word?
Yeah, they'll be exploitive.
Well, that's, something short of coming down and eating us, but not good.
Not good. Well, first off, if anyone lands and they come out and they say, take me to your leader, eat their brains before they eat your brains. Because what they're saying is, take me to whoever controls you. I want to control you through them. But I really wrestled with this philosophically and looked at the situation. I said, well, let's just imagine we're a humpback whale swimming along the coastline of California, and there's 3 ships in the water around us. One ship has got a bunch of folks with cameras, and they're taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And another boat has got they've got a gun, they want to shoot a harpoon through it.
It's an obvious whaler, yeah.
Obvious whaler. And then there's a third ship, and they're trying to put themselves between you and the whaler and putting themselves at risk.
The Greenpeace guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we have evolved. If you think about the slaughter we conducted on whales at one time, we've come a long way to stewardship and mentorship. And so I'm projecting that outwards into the races that we would meet and say, there are they're the whale hunters. And then there are the ones that just want to watch, and there are the ones that want to help protect us from the whale hunters. And so it's not going to be a clear black and white world out there. We're going to come into contact with other races. And so we have to be able to stand on our own 2 feet, make some pretty hard decisions about who we're going to associate with, who we're going to form a dialogue. And I think that the number one most important rule, we have to take and put this in front of everything that we do, is we have to say, do you respect our free will? In other words, is no. If we say no, do you respect it? And if you don't, then we're dealing with an exploitive race. And we've got a problem. And we need to deal with it. Well, all right,
maybe in a way we just said no. I mean, if some government, British or American or whatever, prevented the laying down of a very important message, then in a way we just said no to them.
Or I would come back with this. The first contact has been by exploiters, the ones that say, take me to your leader because I want to exploit you through your leadership. And so really what's happening is that the parenting or the mentoring race is trying to contact us in a benevolent manner outside of the government because there's already been contact by the exploiters within the government. Mm-hmm. That's another it's another way to look at it.
Yeah, it's a possibility. But I sort of give equal weight to the we're nice guys and look out, they might not be such nice guys. I see nothing so far to absolutely put me on either side of that. I just, it seems innocuous on the one side, but then again, something that's really good and going to get you and bite you in the butt at the end would sound that way in the beginning, wouldn't it?
Well,
they're not going to lay down messages saying you die soon or something like that, right? They're not going to tip their hand. They're going to come at us easily and try to get followers and believers.
Well, they're going to say that, but, when I looked at the message and the Crabwood 2002 message and the word believe, keep in mind, you go to church on Sunday, and how many times do you hear from the pulpit?
Lots of times.
Believe.
Oh, lots of times.
Yes, it's a matter of faith. All right, and perhaps that's a message that says, you know, human beings don't have a corner on spirituality. All right, and so they're getting that across, but also it's encouragement. It's saying, look, you're going through a tough time. If you look at Aboriginals and the Hopis, you know, they talk about the ant people coming back to help us again. And so there is this deep time history background, if you look at, especially in the Aboriginal history, where after a terrible tribulation for the planet, creatures did come from space and helped us to get back on our feet. They helped us to help ourselves. And actually in modern day prophecy, from what I'm reading from like sites from Vovoka, they're saying the same thing's going to happen again. That we're going to hit the wall, our civilization's going to collapse, and they're going to come back and help us to help ourselves and get back on our feet. So we can sit here and project our fears, or we can just simply trust our own instincts to meet them head on, one-on-one, not that we would provoke, but it's, in essence, you listen with your eyes. You see what they do, not so much as what they say, but you see what they do.
Uh-huh.
And it's
the crop circles that halted in Great Britain, do you believe they just halted or were stopped?
They were stopped.
They were stopped.
They were blocked.
Not just one, but all the ones that would have come.
That's right, because formations continued in other countries around the world.
Indeed. But the most advanced ones have always been in Britain or in that area.
Yes, and I believe it's because England is specifically conducive to the formations of sophisticated crop circles. They tend to form over England has a very large aquifer system. And these are very old farmlands. And it's just like, you know, if you're a photographer and you have a choice between Kodak film or something that they're using in China, you go for the Kodak film.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so it's the same difference here. I think England is
the Kodak.
It's the Kodak.
So you're pretty much of an optimist then about all of this, really, aren't you?
Yes. I feel that altogether we're going through an evolutionary event. I think we're moving forward. Not that evolution is not particularly a messy thing from time to time. It is. Birth is a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, and it gets messy. But
that word covers a lot of territory. I mean, an awful lot of people I've talked to, like yourself, feel that there's an evolutionary event coming. Well, most evolution is propelled by disaster, by catastrophe, by things and rocks falling from the sky and dinosaurs disappearing and humans arriving. You know, most evolutionary leaps are propelled by some gigantic event.
Yes. And
the optimists that I listen to, like yourself, tend to think these, or sort of gloss over these events, saying, well, you know, everything is going to be a wonderful future. Yes, there's going to be a little rough spot there, but then, you know, we'll get over that. Well, in that little rough spot, millions or even billions die.
That's right. But, yes, it sounds cold and callous, but the question is what's better? That we persevere, evolve, become better, or we just become another layer in the fossil record. And some other species winds up digging us out of the ground like we're digging up the dinosaurs.
Tomorrow's premium gas.
There you go. I'm unleaded myself.
So you're going to continue your monitoring of this situation. There's no way, obviously, to get the messages that were either erased or prevented. So we're going to have to wonder what would have been said.
Yes, and also I'm concerned that there won't be another crop circle season in England next year.
You think it may have stopped or be prevented henceforth?
I think that this year, the reaction, from what I'm seeing in the analysis, the reaction was sloppy. It was ad hoc. It was, quick bat in the hatch and kind of a thing. And
it may be all over then, huh?
And it may be all over. I think next season it'll be, they just it's not going to happen or happen the way we would hope it. It's going to be very slickly engineered out.
Marshall?
Sunday. But the American people, not just the American people, the people of the world, the crop circle phenomenon does bother me. When you see something like that just ending, and the gentleman keeps on saying, that is it, it kind of tells you that's a signal.
Either that or the message ended and we didn't get the last graph, you know.
Or I think the next message is not going to be so much a message. It's just going to be, this is it. Those who don't want to wake up.
Well, all right, then let me try it out on you. This is it. This is what? In other words, are we facing something benevolent and good here to help us through some whatever, or are we facing somebody who wants our kidneys?
You know something, Art? You know, separating the wheat from the tares? It's like you're going to be on one side or the other. And what side that is, I can't explain what the sides are. But as humans, we are either going to take that next step or you're not. And the ones who don't want to take that next step, see ya. I don't know how we separate everybody, but it's going to be a separation of those who really want to reach out and involve themselves in creating something better than what we have here, or those who just want the status quo. And I'm not with the status quo. I know there's something more, and I'm going to keep on reaching, and I want to thank you for enabling me to know that there are others doing the same thing. So keep on doing it, brother, and I hope you were back full time. I love George, but I'd love to hear you at least 2 nights a week.
I appreciate the word, sir. Thank you very much, and take care. So you'll either be among the saved or the eaten. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Well, it figures, Mr. Bell. No, just a little tribute to JC there. Hey,
I thought for a second.
Yeah. Art, and we must say that this show is a mover and shaker because after last night's show, suddenly the president wants to talk to the nation about the war in Iraq.
Oh, yeah, what a coincidence,
cool.
Huh?
I don't know if there's any tie in there, but George says there's no coincidences.
Oh, yeah.
Also, sir, I think the biggest experiment we ever did on introducing the nation to the truth about UFOs was the Orson Welles show. That show that they did way back that the whole country freaked out.
Yes.
And I'd like to think that
I mean, you're really right. The only real experiment in that area we've had, well, there have been a couple, but the biggest one was certainly Orson Welles. No question about it. Now, let's think about that. How did people react? They're eating people in New Jersey. Oh, well, people went berserk, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's the only real mass psychological Rorschach test we have for what people might do, and it didn't turn out so well, did it?
But I'd like to think that we've matured since then, because if 911 and the blackouts don't tell us that we've matured, I really believe it does, because there was calm. Even though there was some chaos, basically the nation took it pretty well, and that could have been the beginning of the end right then, either one of those. And I think that the nation proved right then that we can handle more than we could way back then.
You make a really good point. If two things would equal, hey, we might now be able to handle it, and maybe Brookings is history and what was thought then is history, it might be 9/11 and the blackouts, and we did handle those extraordinarily well, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So maybe you're right. Maybe we are ready, and maybe the fact that we're ready means it's about to happen.
Great, Art. And JC, if you get a chance, call in. Have a good one.
Yeah, you have a good one, too. Oh, by the way, hey, do you remember Mel's Hole? How many of you remember Mel's Hole? After the whole Mel's Hole thing, somebody in humor, this is in humor, sent me this really funny sound. I have spent a long time laughing at this sound. It is, just happened to find that earlier tonight. You're on the air, Coast to Coast AM on the west of the Rockies line. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Art. I don't know where to begin other than...
at the beginning, sir.
Pardon?
At the beginning.
Okay. I live in San Francisco and in the inner city, and it drives me crazy. And to get away from it all and to meditate, I like to go at the beach at night and look at the stars. Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks ago on a Saturday night, I went. It was just turning dusk. And I have a certain method of signaling. I says, I'm going to make contact somehow tonight. I don't know how.
Wait a minute. You're out there trying to contact extraterrestrials?
Right. And I have my own unique method. I am not going to reveal to coast land because I don't want your vast audience to be aping my own special way of getting in touch with the space brethren.
Well, darn.
Okay, so the first night I used my signaling method. Overhead came, just as dusk came, a huge circular craft, massive in size, hovered silently above my head for about 3 minutes, then moved landbound. So I stayed on the beach, kept signaling, nothing. As darkness fell, a very strange thing, I'm flashing my light on the shoreline. I saw...
you just told us. So it's a flashing light you're using.
God, am I stupid.
Huh.
God, I just
Well,
ruined it
that's
myself.
not new. I mean, look, there are a number of... really are a number of organizations that try to make contact using a flashing light. Dr. Greer's organization, for example. So it's no big
cat's
deal.
out of the bag. At any rate.
All right.
So I'm flashing my light on the beach. I see a penguin, an Arctic penguin in San Francisco. I thought it was a shorebird with a broken wing. I look at it. It's a penguin. It swims out to the water like a penguin does and does its penguin thing. I said, wow. Okay, so that's two very strange anomalies in one night.
Why would you imagine an Arctic penguin would be there?
I've talked to friends. They said maybe it escaped from the zoo, maybe it's Earth changes, like that guy wrote about. What was it called? That coming global superstorm. You know that guy with the other guy?
That guy with the other guy, yeah. Sure.
Right. At any rate.
Yep.
So I come home and try to digest because I wasn't sleeping well. I go down to the beach to get the salt air to relax, you know.
Yes.
So I figure I'll try to get a couple hours sleep, come back the next night. Next night, okay, beautiful, go down there at dusk, beautiful sunset on the beach. Start my signaling process.
I hope, by the way, you were using a C-Crane LED light.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to pay $80 for a flashlight. At any rate, no, they have great products. I just am on a budget.
All right, so here you are, signaling
So here
again.
I am on the beach, okay. Very busy beach day on a Sunday. Everybody's there. I says, well, you know, I got to get far and away from people if I'm going to make contact.
Right.
Maybe they'll take me away to a better world. Who knows? Because I knew there was something benevolent about a circle. You know, life is a circle. Circular shaped craft. This has got to be good. So I'm signaling. 5 minutes. There it is. Okay.
What? What is?
I see the pattern of lights. Okay.
Okay.
It's circular.
Yes.
All right. Now, don't ask me how, but I know I'm in telepathic contact. And ever since this has happened, I've had,
all right, well, it's very important to understand. Hold it, sir. What did they tell you if you were in contact? What
did they tell me?
That's right.
Well, I had to make it down to the beach, way far away, about 4 miles towards Pacifica Daly City, to get far away from people. So I'm walking, exhausted. I took a nap, right? There were 3 crafts.
We have a hard time.
But you've got to understand that I have no desire to see it wiped out, destroyed, and otherwise mauled. So rather than give it out on the air, I'm not going to.
Probably find it easy enough to. Anyways, okay, Art. Well, we all miss you, and we hope that you come back and visit us very, as often as you can. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Take care. There are some websites that I have an interest in or whatever, but you have to understand that we have killed on this program. I mean, the number of notches in Coast to Coast we've killed website posts are pretty long, and so I have to be very careful about URLs I give out. You're on the air, Coast to Coast AM on the Wildcard line. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm from Texas, and it's nice to hear your voice again.
Why, thank you.
And I just want to make some comments about tonight's guest caller. I mean, the guy you had interviewed earlier.
Oh, yes, sure.
And I think that I would probably fall in line with one of those individuals who'd probably, be found in the fossil record, unfortunately.
In other words, you don't think you're going to make it through the change, whatever it is.
Like I said, it all depends on where I'm at on planet Earth or whatever. But, I tend to be, I'm coming from the other side of the fence, from the metaphysical New Age over to the Christian bent, except with a retro twist.
You're a Christian with a retro twist?
Well, I look at the UFO enigma phenomenon and all that with a little bit of a different, a different point of view than the other JC.
Okay, what is your point of view?
Well, I believe that it's a real phenomenon. They exist, and there are beings that exist out there, but I wouldn't just go, quietly into the night and totally embrace them if they're so advanced and, technologically advanced and otherwise. Then
any more than you'd open all email attachments, right? I mean, you think before you click.
I would tend to believe that they also have the capability of manipulating human beings on various different levels. So
I could go for that. I hear from a lot of them on these lines.
It must be difficult to be. We're kind of stuck in a certain crux place where we either have to make a decision or we don't, and what do we face if we don't make a decision and all that. It all depends on who's really looking at the whole.
Well, there's quite a bit of information to indicate that our military actually shoots at UFOs. Now,
right.
Yes, sir. That is something you must do right away. Okay, what is your first name and where are you calling from?
This is Jeff calling from Midland, Texas.
Hey, Jeff.
Listening to you on 550 KCRS.
Right.
Okay, I had a quick comment for you and then two questions. First comment is, just wanted to thank you. It's great to hear your voice again.
Thank you.
And the second thing is, I think you made a great choice in George Norrie.
Thank you.
He's a great guy. Okay, first, this goes back a couple of years, but you were on this show Millennium.
Yes, I was.
Okay, I had a question about that.
I'm still getting residual payments from that.
Are you?
Oh, thousands of dollars. No, you want to know the truth? You get these little, $1.50 checks.
How funny. Okay.
The truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, I believe you.
And they're still showing that thing somewhere.
Right. I just wanted you to maybe comment about that experience beyond the residual checks. The experience of it, number one.
Yeah.
And my second question, I'll listen off the air, is there a real Millennium group, beyond the Millennium Group website, but a true group like that? That's my question.
You don't think I could answer that and live, do you? I appreciate your call. All right, well, the experience of being on Millennium. God, I hate television. I like watching it, but I don't like being on it. And I've always had a kind of a prejudice against television. I don't know why. Yes, I do. Because it's all rehearsed. And it has to be, there's so many takes to get something done. Everything has to be just right. And then, of course, you have to remember your lines, too. And then when you're somebody like me, right, who is spontaneous and doesn't memorize lines, I just come in here and say whatever the hell I want to say, you have trouble remembering lines. And you're nervous anyway, and that contributes to your forgetting lines and cues and all that stuff. So my experience in making Millennium was cool and fun, but, God, I hate television. I really do hate television. This is the medium. We're talking the medium right here. Radio is the real medium. Television is great to watch and terrible to try to be on. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Holy smokes. I'm on the air.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I mean, just cold turkey.
Mr. Art Bell, gosh, this is a great pleasure to be on the air with you again. I had an opportunity about 7-8 years ago to be on the air, and I totally blew it. All I could say was just repeat the same thing over and over.
Okay. Well, then stop repeating that and start into what you want to say, because we don't have a lot of time coming to the top of the hour.
Yes, okay, I'll
lay it on
really
me.
Short then. Okay. First of all, I have never had an experience with UFOs or been able to see them, although I do have I wish to see a UFO, and the thing is that I do dream of them a lot, and they're so...
Obviously, you and many others who give comets a great deal of credence. The Hopi, of course, believe that comets are the harbinger of very large change, that they will announce change, and then they will bring change. And, in fact, science would pretty much back that up with regard to comets. Comets certainly have brought change. In fact, others would even argue that comets have brought life. That the ice particles, or rather what's contained within the ice particles, is what distributes life, kind of like a cosmic Johnny Appleseed. that comets go blazing through empty space occasionally coming upon a planet suitable for life, and that as they re-enter that planet's atmosphere, they distribute the seeds of life. So there are many, many people who attach a great deal of significance to comets.
Elongated out of the craft to the ground. Immediately, and from my 30 years of research since that encounter, I can honestly say that the occupant that departed the craft was a typical gray, very short, large head, dark eyes, approached us and stopped within 10 feet of us. And then I also noticed two other humanoid forms in each side of the doorway peering out, and they appeared to be wearing jumpsuits. They had long hair. I couldn't distinguish the color. It was pretty dark, even though they were in the white, very bright white light. But anyway, the occupant of the craft basically immediately gave me, I imagine telepathically, because I didn't see its mouth move, and its mouth was no more than a slit, gave me an equation. And then immediately, I would say within 30 seconds, panicked and turned and literally ran back into the craft. And according to the people that are investigating my cases currently,
you've got
the wobbly effect was considered the only way physics can describe that aspect.
You've got legitimate investigators on your case. Who?
I have a Mr. Jim Cross, who was originally associated with MUFON and now is doing independent research.
Right.
I had held on to that equation for more than 30 years and finally wrote a letter to the J. Allen Hynek Center for UFO Studies and received a letter back from a Frank John Reed, who wrote me a letter.
You included the equation.
Yes, I did. And he basically, in short, wrote, I must honestly say that items of information like your equation usually do not prove out. This would not disprove the reality of the experience. How could we know that such an item was not a deliberate red herring of the aliens? Now, he suggested that I contact a Mr. John Carpenter out of Springfield, Missouri.
Right.
Mr. Carpenter contacted me by phone, and his opinion was, well, let's forget about the red herring. Let's consider that possibly the extraterrestrial gave you the equation just to see what you would do with it.
Do you now have any idea what the equation means?
Well, this is where it gets extremely interesting.
Okay.
Mr. Cross had been, for a number of years, had been working on an equation of his own called the Timms equation. And there was
which was an equation to what?
Well, the equation I don't fully understand. This is something that he has not fully touched base with me on. It's pretty complicated. I know the answer. I have it right here in front of me, and I couldn't tell you what all these little symbols and all these little letters.
All right, so we've got to get to the bottom line. What was his opinion of the equation?
Well, during the course of our investigation, he asked me if he could take my equation home and play with it because the Timms equation, he had a missing piece. He could not get it to work.
Okay, bottom line, was this the missing piece?
Yes, it was. He took an equation that I received during an encounter in 1969 and almost 30-some-odd years later incorporated it into his equation.
Okay, well, how can you not have asked what this equation was?
Well, his equation, the part in reference to the equation will be explained to me in detail. We haven't gotten that far yet.
All right, well, when you do, I want to hear about it. In the meantime, I absolutely appreciate the call. But until we understand either what he was working on or how this filled that out or what it all means, at any rate, when you get the rest of that, I'd be most interested. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Is this me, Art?
That's you, sir.
Good to talk to you again.
Thank you. Where are you?
Los Angeles area.
L.A., okay.
Yes, sir. As I told you when you picked up the phone, I had part of an exorcism about 2 minutes.
Oh, Oh, that's right. You're the gentleman who once played an exorcism for me on the air, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And you have now another exorcism.
Well, I have another one. Yeah, I ran across it.
Now, there's nothing that you're in what you're about to play that I cannot air, is there?
No, sir.
This is a real exorcism.
Yes, it is. He had several. This is just one of the demons that left him.
All right, go.
Okay.
I plead the blood of Jesus over the door to his soul. The blood of the Lamb. The blood of the Lamb. The blood of the Lamb. The blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus. Now, Jim, get out of the way. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, if there's any left in there, I ask that they come up now and be forced to get out of there. In the name of Jesus Christ. The Son of God was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. Come up, Spirit. Put your name and line up to the Holy Ghost. In the name of Jesus Christ, as the servant of the Most High God, I command you to speak only when spoken to. What is your name? What's your name? I'm answer to you. John, I ask for Michael Archangel to take his sword right now and put to this devil's throat. In the name of Jesus Christ. Oh, please don't molest Jesus' name. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Oh, I hate that name. What is your name? What's your name? Lust. Lust. Are you the only one left? Yes. I'm the only one left. Jesus, did God forgive him of his sin of lust? Yes, he did. I hate God. Do you have any legal right in him? No, I don't. I command you to speak only when spoken to and say what I tell you to say. You understand me? Yes, sir. You're the only one left? Yes. I take that answer and I hold it up to the Holy Ghost right now. If he's lied to me, Father, I ask to be smitten and thrown into torment. Come up, Lust. Come up, Lust. Come up, Lust. I command you to go to the pit. You're not ready till I tell you. I command the spirit of lust to come up. Come up. Come up, lust. Jim? Yes? You're free, brother. Amen. That's the last one. God is good.
There you have it. Lust was exorcised. Well, that's one I hadn't heard before, that's for sure.
You're driving by and no one else is stopping, and it's like, okay, I just wish someone else had seen it with me, but I still don't believe it was a military craft. I've never seen anything move like that, and I've seen Harriers do their vertical lift, and they're not silent, so.
Well, I appreciate your call and your comment. I, too, cannot, I can't discount the possibility that it was a military craft. It could be. But I don't think that's what I saw. I mean, it could be, and it's got to remain an open possibility. After all, I do live in an area where experimental craft are regularly exercised. We get to see them, so it could be, but I don't know. It was close to nothing that I can even imagine we actually have. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Art. This is Teresa, also calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, listening to you on 1130.
Excellent.
And first I want to say it's a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm glad you were on last night tonight because you're actually my birthday present. Yesterday was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Anyway, I wanted to get your take on maybe traveling to different dimensions. I had a very weird occurrence happen to me a couple of years ago to me and my husband, and it was like we just switched dimensions without ever knowing it.
How so?
Okay, my husband and I camp a lot, and we were in Michigan City, Indiana, and we were actually outside of there at a park, and we used to have to go into Michigan City every day to get our food and stuff. And we would pass a nuclear power plant that was out there that had 2 reactors. They were always going every day. And we stayed there probably for about a week and a half or so, and we came back to the same area about 8 months later, and there was only one.
Huh.
And out of curiosity, we also ghost hunt, so, we check out very weird things. But we asked people in the city whatever happened to the other one, thinking maybe there was an accident or, a leak or something that might have happened. And
sure.
They looked at us like we were crazy and said there had only been one to begin with. There was never 2 of them. But yet we have them on pictures. We both saw them. You know, this was every day, 2 or 3 times a day, going to town to get food.
Well,
And, we don't know what happened to it, you know, as far as the nuclear reactor disappearing, but it was a very weird occurrence.
That really is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard so many stories over the years of what appear to be steps into other dimensions or time slips or little things that seem out of place that happen in just regular course of life. A lot of people probably don't even notice or don't pay attention, and then every now and then somebody does, and boom, you catch it.
Yeah, nothing ever, you know, happened to us like that before. This was just a one-time occurrence, and we both saw if it had just been one of us, it would be different. But, you know, having both seen it and, you know, everyone...
I didn't know whether your calls would be good ones or bad ones as far as he's concerned.
Well,
they should be good, but I thought you might like to know since you're out of here.
I do appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, Matt, thank you very much for that rumor. Matt floated a rumor that he said, I think, but somebody told me, he said he had from several sources that I was coming out of retirement and would appear exclusively on XM radio or something like that. And I got about 5 million emails. Thanks, Matt. And as I said last night in detail, that rumor is not true. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mark from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes, Mark.
I'm listening on Superstation 1110 KFAB.
Boy, it rocks out across the plains. Yeah.
Oh, it sure does. Hey, first of all, I want to mention about that poor cat.
The cat?
Yes.
The cat. You mean...
that poor cat.
It's that second one that gets me.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
The thing is, people say the poor cat. Well, You know what I say? Oh, poor hell. When that cat gets down there, there's going to be hell to pay.
You know, you never know. I mean, if you think optimistically, maybe it was on its way to cat heaven. I mean, maybe there was nothing down there, but, you know, I don't know.
Little warrior cat.
Gourmet cat food, whatever.
Art, let's assume that Alexander Sitchin was correct.
You mean Zacharias?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Zacharias.
Yes.
We were apparently perfectly happy monkeys or something, and we
were a bunch of gold diggers.
Yes, genetically engineered to mine our own gold.
That's right.
Our own gold.
Yeah. No. We were created to. Well, it may be our planet, but they were having us mine gold not for ourselves, but for them. You don't think?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And now they come back and they want to be our friends.
Well, you've got a good point there. Now, many people say that there are many, many, many different aliens, not just those who pass by every now and then on Nibiru, but many different ones. Right?
Yes.
But, I mean, if they were the same ones, then you have a very good point.
You know, we need a ringer.
A ringer?
A ringer. This is why we need SETI. We're calling out for help. We need some help from some unto herefore heard of party that is going to come in and help us. We need a ringer.
Well, I don't know. As I said, a lot of people wish and hope and pray for this, that somebody will come zooming in their chrome saucers and save our butts. But I'm not so sure. And I think hoping and praying for that is fine, but you better help yourself.
Amen to that, Art. Hey, first-time caller, long-time listener, love you to death, Art.
Thank you for the call. Take care. East of the Rockies, guess what? You're on the air.
Yes, hello.
Okay, turn your radio off, please. That's number one. Good, thank you. Bless you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Art.
That would be me.
And this is Paul from Baltimore.
Yo, Paul.
I have a theory about your crop circles.
They're not mine. They're ours, my friend.
Yes, and I'm listening on CC Radio, of course. My stations I listen to would be the 1110 and 1210. But I believe the crop circles are the poachers in the divine garden of souls.
Oh.
And Ed Dames has talked about this, that we really are a crop of souls.
Yeah, oh yes, and many, and others have as well. It's a fascinating theory. Poachers in the divine crop of cells.
Garden of Souls.
Garden of Souls, well.
And of course, there is the prime directive like in Star Trek, and only deception can be used. In other words, there can be no interference, but they can use deception. And I believe that the UFOs and the crop circles are basically the deceptive interference.
At any rate, the real issue at hand would be the soul of man. That's what all of this is about. Turn your radio off. You don't need to hear that. So the real issue at hand here is the soul of mankind.
Right, and if you remember Independence Day.
Clearly.
Yeah, the top of the building party.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the believers in the crop circles would be.
Well, maybe. I did make note at the time I saw that movie, and I'm sure many of you did too, that there would be people who would go out and welcome them exactly as was depicted in that motion picture. Now, would they be fried and toasted at the top of the building, or would they get the welcome they thought they were in for? I don't know. I think it's a flip of the coin right now. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Bell.
Hello.
This is Tony, North Hollywood.
Hey, Tony.
Kind of with the last caller, I have a theory on what the message might be.
Sure.
Because didn't the guy say that it emanates from the constellation Pisces?
Yes.
Isn't Pisces a symbol for Jesus?
Okay.
And also that the what other thing? The object has wings.
The object that Soho took a photograph of was a winged object, yes.
And winged object, you would think, would be like angelic. And if it's to believe, the belief might be in Jesus.
It might be.
Because if it's coming from constellation Pisces...
All of that might be. But, I mean, if you're coming at this from the direction I think you're coming at it from, then you should also be well aware the Bible says all this sort of stuff is wicked, evil nonsense.
Well, I also think it's...
Right?
There's like a convergence of things happening.
For the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Art?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a sound clip of hell I want to play to you and Coast to Coast listeners.
It's a sound clip of what?
That's a sound clip of hell. You can hear fire burning, and you can hear people with like soul burning and just demonic
soul burning. Where did this come from?
Well, I listen to a Satanist heavy metal band. They're named Deicide, and it's on their CD. And it's really cool.
So in other words, they created the sound, right?
I guess I have no idea where they got it from.
I see. Well, that's interesting, but that comes from a rock band, and I can do you one better.
Yeah, well, I think you should hear this one, though.
Well, I'm willing to listen to a little of that. Let me hear it.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Here it goes, people. Here it goes.
It's supposed to be hell. It's from a rock band, which, I hear the flame. Yeah, I hear screaming. All right, well, there it is. All right, that's their depiction of hell. Then there's the other hell. You see, this purports to be a real recording of hell. One taken in Siberia in Russia where they drilled the deepest hole in the world. This was carried on news services and then lowered mics into the hole. The scientists, after hearing the following, fled the site. Here it is. Listen. If you pulled that sound out of a hole, you'd probably take off too, wouldn't you? First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Art?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Frank in Eastern Washington. How are you?
I'm fine, Frank.
Boy, I tell you, that's a scary sound, I tell you.
It is, yes.
Well, I tell you, I got a story about, I was visited by aliens. Last summer, I was out there in the backyard, and there's just lights. It was late at night, and there's lights going all around. And pretty soon, what happened is they started to converge right in the middle, and they came down, and it was like a ship, and landed right in my field. And I got about 10 acres out there.
Yes, sir.
And these little guys came out, and they were gray. I tell you, these were the grays. And they came out, and they went up to me, and I swear to goodness, I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. I thought they were going to hurt me or something and take me away in their ship. And, you know, I got things to do, you know. So anyway, there they were, and they were pointing at me, and they're talking amongst themselves in kind of a threatening manner, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have my shotgun with me, so I just pulled out. I had some pepper spray, you know, and they got them big old eyes.
You know? Pepper sprayed grays?
Yeah, they didn't like that one bit.
Oh, I'm sure with those big eyes, my God, man. And so what happened when you hit them with the pepper spray? What happened?
Well, I tell you, they start hopping around. They don't have no eyelids.
They were hopping around? Oh, that's right, no eyelids. Oh, my God.
They were mad at me, I tell you. And one of them that I didn't get real good, he like pointed his finger at me.
Yeah.
And, I think he had something in his hand or something. But then I couldn't move. And
he obviously paralyzed you. Yeah.
I tell you. And then they brought me in there.
Can you
and you
blame
know
them?
all those stories about those anal probes?
Uh-huh.
Those are true. I tell you, they really got me good.
Well,
and my dog was in the house. He was carrying on and everything.
Yeah.
They even anal probed him. I tell you,
my God, even your dog. All right, well, I'm sorry to hear it. I hope life is better to you as the years roll by. I appreciate the call.
Experience these.
So you've only seen them, or have you ever tried to step into one?
I've traveled astrally through them. I can tell you that Carlos Castaneda's books, because of descriptions of other worlds in those books that the Toltecs talk about, one of them, for example, is called the Yellow World. I had been traveling through that astrally, and I'd fall asleep, it would open up, and I'd travel in my astral body. Around the Yellow World innumerable times. The Yellow World is basically called that because it's nothing but yellow sand dunes, and yellow sky. It's a boring place to walk around in.
Not a lot going on, just a whole bunch of sand and sky and...
Right, but the Toltecs say that you basically have to cross that to get into other worlds. So, anyway, another one is another actually boring place. There's really nothing going on there. It's a dark world. It's kind of like imagine yourself being on a planetoid, a rock in space, not well lit. You can just enough light to be able to see anything, but and the thing is, it has a time effect that's different from our time.
A day without sunshine, sir, is like night.
Exactly. Another world I saw, and this was a sighting when I was awake. It opened up in my room. The other side was green grass.
That sounds friendlier right away.
Oh, it was a beautiful place. Green grass, like a lawn. Kind of a sloping hill sloping up to the top of this rise with a grove of some beautiful trees.
You think these worlds really exist?
Well, I've seen them. I mean, I can't deny them. I've experienced them. You had a caller a number of years ago who said, and because of time constraints, you couldn't let her get into it, who said that she experienced portals, and you'd be surprised as to the kinds of things that can be seen through them or that could pass through them. And furthermore, there was a case where, and I had friends who actually invited me over to their apartment, third-floor apartment, that had a portal in their closet, and there was something that came through. And it was solid enough to nudge me in the ribs. It was like this big friendly dog. It wasn't a ghost.
Oh.
And
I don't know that I would like that at all. I always I appreciate the call. I always had a dark fear of my closet anyway. I knew damn well there was a portal or something in there. Every now and then, I still close closets. Don't like closets closed. I just there's something about a closet. Anybody else feel the same way? I mean, it's dark. There's all those cloths.
Okay. Disembodied arm pulled down my sheet very slowly. I stood up to grab the arm. It went up into the ceiling. It had a very distinctive pajama pattern on it. The next day, my mother... The
entire disembodied arm had a pajama thing on it?
It was just an arm, in other words.
But with a pajama thing on it?
But with a pattern of a torn pajama arm on it.
Oh, man.
Now, when I went down into the basement, my mother was doing the laundry, and she asked me to get the mail, which was in the garage, past the basement. So I walked, and I'm going as fast as I can. So I walked to get the mail, and when I noticed something on the right, lots of cobwebs. And my father had an old saw, like a shopsmith or a skillsmith or whatever they're called.
Yes.
And there was all these cobwebs on it, so it hadn't been touched. And I something caught my eye, and I looked way deep in the corner,
yes,
where it was against the wall, and I saw the pattern of that sleeve. So I got a stick.
Oh, brother.
And I pulled it out, and I screamed, and my mother asked me why I was screaming, and I said, "You'd never believe me." So, I mean, it was the sleeve, the torn sleeve that was on the arm that had pulled my covers down. Then, just a couple more.
Listen, I'm not going to have time for a couple of more. Besides, you're never going to top that anyway.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
But thank you, Art.
All right. You're very welcome. Take care. So there you have it, a disembodied pajamaed arm. God. All right. Well, it has been a blast. I want to remind you all, if you wish to contact me until the next time we meet, whenever that may be, I do have operative email addresses, artbell@mindspring.com and artbell@AOL.com. That's ARTBELL, lowercase, at mindspring.com or artbell@AOL.com. It has been such a pleasure being back with you, and I look forward to the next opportunity to do so. I wish you all have a very wonderful night indeed and a remainder of the weekend. And once again, thank you, George, and thank you, Premier Radio Networks.